one of our favorite places on earth, a place we get to share with the select few that come to hunt with us each fall. And when all the preparation's done, stands set, our hunters in camp ready and lined up, they relax and prepare as well, wondering what the coming week may bring. While the guides stay hard at work, ensuring that when the morning of day one comes, everything is ready. There's a pretty nice deer there. I figured it'd be worth going to have a look, hey?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Excited.
Deer hunting is different for everyone. We all have our reasons why we get up and head out. For some it's a tradition, for some a hobby, a pastime, or a lifestyle, maybe an obsession, or just to be outdoors enjoying nature. And for many, it's generational. For us, it's a love of deer, watching them, historians curating the lives of giants, and the challenge of perfecting a craft. Regardless of the why, we all share one thing. We all hit in with a common hope, a common dream, that all of our reasons why, everything that we've done in the deer woods to this point, may put us in the path of a legend.
Is a true giant.
Stealth Cam presents Dean Partridge's Canadian Whitetail, brought to you by Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. Monster Meal, attraction, nutrition, results. Excalibur Crossbow, different for a reason. Heater Bodysuit, #1 in cold weather hunting gear. New archery products, hunt with confidence. Bog, engineered for the unknown. Hoyman, your land, your legacy. Muddy, serious gear for serious hunters. Glendale 3D Targets, the biggest and toughest 3D targets in the world. Nocturnal lighted nocks, switch on accuracy and let it glow. Hunter Specialties, serious hunting tools. Boyd's hardwood gun stocks, better with Boyd's. Raculator, score your trophy fast, easy, and accurate. Old timer knives, built for generations. And by Stealth Cam, proven reliability, proven quality, proven performance.
Well, I would argue that northern Saskatchewan is one of the most beautiful places you can go to hunt deer, and I'd also argue that those big northern woods carry some of the biggest mature, unpressured whitetails anywhere on the planet. And this week, Jeff Baker from Excalibur Crossbow is heading up to our Canadian Whitetail Outfitters Lodge to try his luck for his first Saskatchewan buck. The big woods bordering the farmland of northern Saskatchewan host grand scenery and even larger deer, some whom we've never seen in person, and it's here that each year we search for the highest quality deer for our clients. And on one such card pull, a familiar buck from the past has survived yet another year, and as we may do over 60 times in a season at camp, it's time to set up. What a unique feeling up here when setting up, knowing that you may be the only person to have ever set up to hunt in that valley, to have ever followed a deer track on that ridge, and when you see a buck, it's very possible that you may be the only person to have ever seen it. And after setting up, the next time we check the stealth cam, the buck is still right there. Heavy beams, gnarly bases, and mature. He's one buck that anyone would be proud of. With the spot set up, it's now the night before our first clients of the year arrive, and everyone is back at the lodge making final preparations for the following day's arrival of hunters. Anticipation is high, and everyone is ready to get clients into the deer woods.
This segment is brought to you by Hoyman and the new no-slip H-grip on their full line of tools. Best-in-class tools for every application. Hoyman, your land, your legacy. This segment has been brought to you by Nocturnal Lighted Nocks. String activated. Simple. Switch on accuracy and let it glow. Nocturnal Lighted Nocks.
One fellow we're picking up for the first week of deer hunts today is friend Jeff Baker from Excalibur Crossbow, who's made the cross-country trek to hunt with us and try their new twin strike crossbow. Our hunters arrive the afternoon before their hunt, so there's no rush, ample time to get into camp, settled, and check their equipment after the long miles. It was pretty special for us to be some of the first to see the engineering feat of the new Twin Strike, and to have it on its inaugural hunt, the first time it's been in the field. With everything lined up, we're set for tomorrow morning, and Jeff's headed back in to join everyone, warm up, enjoy a hot meal, and the lodge. These nights, the nights before the week starts, are maybe my favorite. So much anticipation, the camaraderie amongst all at camp, and all the hunting stories told, the truth of which is sometimes suspect, just like a good story should be. These are arguably some of the best nights spent in the deer woods. Just getting ready to head out day one. We're going to a stand that we call Desperation, which seems more like a last day stand than a first day stand, but there's a pretty nice deer there. We looked at some pictures last night. Jeff figured it'd be worth going to have a look, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Excited.
Let's go. Jeff and I are in and settled well before light, an eerie feeling day one for a hunter waiting for sunrise to see where they are, as Jeff climbs into his heater bodysuit, an absolute must-have for all-day sits. As the darkness fades to light, the deer begin to move, and Jeff is treated to seeing his first Saskatchewan whitetail, this pretty little doe. Jeff's got nice sandwiches. I've got frozen Rice Krispies. Jeff must be nicer to the cook. After an all-day sit, although we're treated to deer and a small buck making his rounds, day one is quite slow. And as the day passes with no encounters with the target buck, we pack up to return tomorrow.
This segment has been brought to you by the Heater Bodysuit. The Heater Bodysuit is the ultimate cold weather hunting garment that allows you to stay on stand longer and sit comfortably. The Heater Bodysuit. You stay warm or your money back. This segment of Canadian Whitetail has been brought to you by Bog. More than just a shooting rest. Bog. Engineered for the unknown.
On day 2, camp wakes up to a warm lodge, hot coffee, and a full breakfast to get ready for the day. And before first light, Jeff and I are back, settled in our blind and ready for the day. This young buck is our first visitor, and we were hoping that movement would pick up today. With this familiar doe making an appearance, the morning carries on, slow again, but as time goes by we both know that anything can happen at any time. I pan the camera as Jeff and I watch this young buck leave, not paying attention out front, and when I look back, I instantly tap Jeff on the knee to get ready. Our target buck had snuck in while we had watched the other leave. Seeming in a hurry, I felt the buck had just stopped to feed for a moment and we'd be gone soon looking for does, and we knew that there was no time to waste.
Welcome to this week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment. Locate, learn, set up, hunt. Brought to you by Muddy Outdoors.
Well, we came out today to get set up in this gorgeous valley. This is going to be a great spot. This spot's only going to get better as the season goes on because those deer are going to be pushed down in here by pressure and they're going to be running here even heavier through the rut. But we came up with a unique problem that we wanted to kind of explain to people that we don't touch on very often. So when we came in here, we instantly seen exactly where we want to set up, and that's on that far ridge about halfway down. There's that little island of trees. It's a perfect spot for a blind. It faces to the northwest and it overlooks that bottom valley, and that's going to work just perfect. The nice thing about that ridge behind you is it gives you a good natural barrier. On the other side of that ridge, there's nothing. It's just flat, wide open field. Those deer aren't going to be up there. They're not going to be circling around you, so it really gives you an advantage. So it's facing to the northwest. We're going to want to sit it on northwest wind to blow our scent out that way. Now, if we've got a good breezy day, it's no problem. Our scent's going to push up and out, and we're going to be safe. On a day like today, when it's not very breezy, that's when it kind of presents some problems, and you got to think about not necessarily the wind direction, but what's going to shift that wind direction and how that wind direction is going to modify itself with land formations. So we're going to be facing kind of northwest, and that ridge kind of curves around to the south, so that valley runs to the south. If the wind comes from the northwest and hits that land formation, if there's not much of a breeze, it's going to push your scent south all the way down the valley. Now that's fine if that's what your plan is, but you have to kind of think about where your deer are going to come from and where they're going to go. With that said, we might also sit here on a west or a little bit southwest wind, and that's fine. That's kind of what it's going to be set up for. But if the wind hits that ridge that follows the valley on a west or a southwest wind, that scent is going to follow along the north side here. And if there's not much wind, it's not going to push it out. It's just going to kind of hover along this edge. And again, that's fine depending on what you want from your deer. If you're expecting the deer to be bedding in this short stuff here and a little bit of these woods, or if you're expecting them, they're going to be coming out of the creek or out of the valley bottom and traveling that way, that's not going to be ideal. And that's another good reason why we use the ozonics on every single sit, because we can't control all the factors. We can do all the figuring that we want, but there's always land formations, there's always thermals, there's things that aren't going to agree with your plan. So we use the ozonics on every sit, and that's kind of our default safety net. Now, I know that if something doesn't happen right, if the wind shifts a little bit, or if we weren't expecting the wind to do what it actually does when it goes around a ridge, then we're safeguarded by using the ozonics. Sometimes you just have to look a step or two further than just which direction the wind's going. So we take another step, we add on ozonics. That way we know we're protected if our setup's not just right, if the wind doesn't do exactly what we think it's going to do, if the thermals change, if the wind doesn't do what we think it's going to do a few steps away from our blind. And that's another thing to take a look at. Step back and take a look at what your wind's gonna do 50, 80, 100, even 200 yards away from your specific stand location. What it might do around certain landmarks. And taking those additional steps into account before deciding whether you're gonna head in after that buck on any given day is gonna only increase your chance at taking your next trophy deer. And that's your Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment for the week.
This week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment has been brought to you by Muddy Outdoors. Share your own muddy moment. Canadian Whitetail is also brought to you by Central Boiler Outdoor Furnaces, the ultimate wood heat, Black Eagle Arrows, advanced carbon technology, Block Archery Targets, the world's #1 archery target, Tacticam, share your hunt, Wild Edge, the ultimate climbing system, Cyclops Lights, get out of the dark, and by Hawk and the new Hawk Down and Out Hybrid Blinds. This segment is brought to you by AAE. Innovation and integrity is in our blood. Quality and dependability is in our products.
On day 2 of Jeff's hunt, while watching another deer leave, we looked back, and the target buck had slipped right in on us. And we knew he wasn't about to wait around. This would be Jeff's chance. That was way too fast. I just looked over and I'm like, whoa, he's right here. So we got on him as quick as we could. But he was on a mission, eh?
Oh yeah, he came in quick. That was awesome.
I think that's why he's a little less reliable here the last few days, because he's got other things on his mind. But
Yeah.
you could tell, I didn't think he was going to stick around. Told Jeff is up to him. He's a mature buck. Been in here for quite a few years. It was minus 14 or 15 yesterday.
Yeah.
It's not too bad today. It's minus 10 right now. It's supposed to actually come up to about minus 5 by lunchtime, and tomorrow it's supposed to be minus 23. And I was just sitting here thinking, come on, Jeff.
Rather not sitting minus 23 for the day.
Looks pretty good, and I think the shot looked pretty good, so that's a big broadhead going through him too.
Yeah.
When we grabbed the arrow looked pretty good. The shot looked pretty good. When Jeff shot his deer, it only made it about 2 jumps and he stopped, and we kind of thought he might have went down there. I was kind of hoping he went down there, and he kind of did go down there, but he went way down here. So that stand is right on the edge. It rolls into a valley, and the reason we lost track of him right away is he rolled into the valley here. So he still hasn't gone that far, but it's steep coming down into the valley, so we couldn't film coming down there. The blood came down, and he's right there, and we're gonna go take a look. He's a pretty nice deer.
We had a great sit yesterday. Got to see a few deer and sat in the cold. It was about minus 16, and today things warmed up a little bit. We got a nice little fresh layer of snow. Weren't sitting in the stand too long, and this guy just appeared right in front of us. Didn't hear him coming or anything, and he walked right in and was unsure if Dean was going to let me shoot him because we didn't get the footage of him walking in, but it all worked out well. Made a good shot on him with the new Twin Strike by Excalibur.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Dean. Appreciate
That's the one
everything.
I showed you, wanted to have a look at, hey? He's sure a pretty deer though, hey?
Yeah, the character. He's got a bunch of little junk around his bases there.
Got nice tines, nice mass. We didn't even see it. He was just there, hey? And I was like, oh no. It's a tight spot in there to film as it is, but that was the goal. Beautiful deer. Pretty cool crossbow. First hunt with that crossbow ever, hey?
Yep, the first animal taken.
Yeah, and it was pretty neat to see. Quite the technology in that, and pretty glad you got to come hunt anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for everything.
We'll get him out, get him tagged up, and back to the shack. Congratulations again.
Thanks, Dean. Appreciate it.
Some hunts happen fast and some take several days, and even on those hunts that drag on, when it finally does happen, it can happen in the blink of an eye. And that's exactly what happened to us. We looked up and the buck was right there. And although it doesn't make for the best footage, we accomplished our goal of Jeff headed back with a big mature buck. And congratulations, Jeff, on your very first, and hopefully not your last, Saskatchewan whitetail. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Canadian Whitetail.
This segment is brought to you by Wild Edge, makers of the ultimate climbing system, the Step Ladder, Safely design your climb in any tree with the most versatile, lightweight, and compact climbing system, the Step Ladder. To book your own dream hunt to northern Saskatchewan, please contact us at Canadian Whitetail Outfitters. Canadian Whitetail has also been brought to you by these fine sponsors. For exclusive content, follow Dean and the team on Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at Whitetail Dean. To view all past and present episodes of Canadian Whitetail, as well as new original content, visit us on our YouTube and Carbon TV channels. For Canadian Whitetail gear and apparel, visit CanadianWhitetailTV.com.
Recording in